First thing I want to remind you of is that we did a little survey yesterday on Internet freedom with Mobile Commons, and they asked you to answer 2 questions, and we actually have the results from yesterday. Kim, if you could put those up on the screen. So you can see the answers there. And you can see that B won on taking a broader Internet approach. There was a second question, I believe. And there again, the government is regulating privacy on the Internet in the wrong way. So we're going to actually do another survey. If you could be so kind as to text PDF to 877-877. You could do that while I'm doing the housekeeping, because my comments aren't necessarily as important as the speakers coming after me. But please, PDF to 877-877. Mobile Commons will report back those this afternoon. And I promised that we would be giving away another Connect box, and we're also going to be giving away a Jaron Lanier book for those of you who are in the auditorium as we sit here. And I'm now a little nervous that one of these cards may not actually belong to somebody who's here. Sandira Kalviak, Sandira, are you here? Okay. Well, but she needs to be sitting in the theater. Michael Ante? All right, there he is. Great. Of course, one of our speakers. Of course. And this is for a Connect box from Microsoft. Zubaydah from Sunlight Foundation. Boy, this works. Terrific. Thank you very much. Okay, lastly, I mentioned to you this morning, and for those of you who are not here, we launched something really cool this year called PD+, which is our premium content service. Our goal is to try to keep this conversation going not just for 2 days, but all year long. It's a very inexpensive service. It's a network of new ideas being fed to you every day on politics, government, and advocacy. And we're giving away a couple of subscriptions to those for people who actually tweet PD+, or like us on Facebook. And if you do that, you can win a subscription. We did that yesterday. We did it this morning. And there's from yesterday's contest, Charles McGinnis and Rachel Ferrari. So if you're here, we will get, go to the back table where we have PD Plus set up there, and we'll get you your subscription. And lastly, we did a hackathon this weekend called PDF Applied, where we tried to basically demonstrate how we could quickly build a couple of really cool applications and tools that reflect the ethos of this conference. And our second place winner is going to be introduced by Peter Hirschberg, our partner from the Gray Area Foundation, who helped us with the hackathon. Peter.
Thank you. So this weekend, one of these magical processes of the age took place. About 150 people came in for the PDF Applied Hackathon. There were about 100 ideas, and in kind of this magical mush of matchmaking that takes place, about 10 teams got started. This, our second prize winner, is a really good example of how you build a sustainable app. It was the New York City Advocates Office that came with a problem, citizen need, and archaic business process that they knew they had to solve, and they had been talking about it for months, especially since the New York Times editorialized that this ought to get handled, and there were lawsuits brewing. And it was in an hour that a team was formed. Code was created in a day, and now there's a plan for the future that the city is going to implement. It's a good example of how these things work. So I'd like to introduce Eddie Tahara, Molly Ruskin, Jeff Merritt, Adam Becker, and Dominic Morrow, who created some magic very quickly that we'll all be able to use soon. Thanks, guys.
Everybody hear me now? Much better. Okay, so my name's Jeff Merritt. I'm with New York City Public Advocate's Office. We're going to talk a little bit about open data. Now, in an ideal world, government makes all of its information readily available online. Sort of looks like that, right? Now, unfortunately, in the real world, what we see is that some of this information is withheld. Now, in these cases, you can request information through a process called the Freedom of Information request. It's simple, right? Now, sadly, with this current system, no one's happy. The public gets frustrated because requests are ignored or maybe they fall through the cracks. Government staff are overwhelmed because incorrect requests come in the wrong fashion for the wrong agency. And then good government groups and technology folks get frustrated because this information isn't being made publicly accessible and there's not transparency in this process.
So that's where we stepped in. Our goal was to make a simple tool that can improve this process for everybody. We sought to create a solution whereby the public can now access the information in a friendly and easy-to-use form. So that's the public accessing the information. And where FOIA officers can now manage these requests in a simple way on the back end and have a bit of a database to manage this for them. And finally, where the whole process can become more transparent so that anyone can see the kinds of requests and responses, access the information more easily, and create a system of accountability.
So without further ado, we'd like to show you a quick video demo of Open Up NYC. So for the requester, we break it down into 3 really simple steps. Number 1 is who are you requesting the information from? So if you don't know the department, we also give you the opportunity to select from a list of issue areas, and we handle the business end for you. Number 2, what information are you requesting? And we do the busy work of getting this into the correct format and putting it into the official template so that your request is properly handled. Number 3 is just your basic contact information, and if they need anything else, if they can't email the documents, they'll contact you and request more. And once our users make these requests, we can do some really cool things with the data. As Molly said, we can track which departments are the most responsive to these requests. And we can also, as users, you can go and browse the other requests that people have made. And we're also working on a back-end tool so that there are better ways for the FOIA officers who are responding to these requests to do their job as well.
We think that this is going to make it so much easier for people to make FOIA requests, but I think the real power actually is in keeping track of the response rates. Since people are going to make requests through this website, we can see how responsive the departments are, and we can rank the departments and see which ones are being the most responsive. We're working with Jet to deploy, as they mentioned, by the end of the year, hopefully sooner. We'd love to continue working on this project. We would love your support. If you're interested in supporting the project or interested in deploying this in your city or your state, contact us at openupnyc.com. Thank you.
So welcome back to our plenary speakers. As we get started again, we're going to turn our attention overseas. I think the sprawling and distributed nature of the internet suggests that we can't really look at it globally through any single domestic lens. And so we're actually very lucky to have here today 3 speakers who really live at the heart of online life in China.